when things are going bad, don't get all bummed out, don't get startled, don't get frustrated. If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another Iron Will podcast with me, Shane Warner, and
John Chase.
So what this podcast is all about is we are trying to get stories from people that have been through a traumatic experience in their lives and came out a different person.
Yeah, they have all created an iron will. So what is an iron will? A burning determination that cannot be stopped or hindered by anything. Willing to do anything to get a desired outcome. Extremely resilient. So what we like to say is just keep punching.
Yeah. So sit back and relax, and we're going to start the show.
Like, if people want to hear my story, basically, we already got most of that, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
So I kind of wanted to talk about, like, why, like, what to look for with suicide,
Okay.
like, why it's a big deal, why
Okay.
people should worry about it,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
how they
that's
can,
good.
and how they can help other people,
Okay.
you know? So it's not just, you know, there's, like, actively something that you can do to help,
Yeah.
you know, or, you know, if you're experiencing these things, like, you know, those are signs that you need to seek out help,
Yeah.
you know, like that kind of stuff. Is that?
Yeah, that's perfect. I just didn't really know what you wanted to cover, and
Yeah, we didn't really talk about it
I thought
in depth,
that
so.
it might be something about suicide because of the shirts, but
Yeah.
okay.
Well, and it, you know, just with the COVID stuff and everything, like people being isolated, you know, like, you know,
For
how to
sure.
reach out and help people.
Yeah.
For sure, because, yeah, that kind of stuff's gone up. It's gone up this
Yeah.
past year,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
That really sucks.
Oh yeah. And the stats, like, they only release stats every 2 years or after 2 years.
Oh,
so
really?
by the
Yeah.
time the stats for 2020 are released, it'll be 2022.
Oh man.
So we won't even know,
The effect. Yeah.
the effect it had. So if we can be preemptive,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay. Yeah. That's perfect. Okay. And today we have Doug Myers on the podcast again. And Doug was on episode number 8.
8.
That
Almost
was
a year
long
ago.
time ago. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Lucky number 8.
Yep. And so what we're going to talk to Doug about this time is kind of the importance of checking in on a friend in need, and like, because you never know what a person's going through.
Yeah.
And so you just gotta be kind of receptive to people's emotions and stuff like that. So, but
So maybe Doug, you can go like just a tiny recap. You don't have to share your full story
Yeah,
again, but
yeah.
some of those that maybe just jumped on and haven't gone back and listened to everything, maybe you could just kind of recap why suicide prevention is so important to you because of your story. We've heard it, but some people may not have yet.
yeah,
So just do a small synopsis of it.
So a small synopsis is I joined the Army in 1997. Suicide, especially in the veteran community, is, you know, a huge deal. It's increased substantially from 2001 to 2009. And veteran suicide in particular is still continued to increase, even though the amount of veterans in the overall society has started to decrease.
yeah,
As a veteran, you know, I think that it's important that we take care of each other, because nobody really understands what we've been through, other than the people who have been through similar experiences.
Right.
And in 2010, I was very close to committing suicide.
Yeah.
It was a turning point in my life. And, so it kind of hits home. I can see where people are coming from and the feelings of isolation and loss of hope.
And
so
I just want to ask you, like, as a veteran, how do you come to that conclusion that you want to, like, take your own life? Like, is it, like, not planned out, or is it, I'm sure it's different for everyone going through it, actually, but
what was it for you? Yeah. Like, what was your, what brought you to that point?
Yeah.
So for me, what brought me to the point is, I felt like I was losing everything that I cared about at the time. And I felt trapped and I felt isolated. I felt like the problems were bigger than I was, and I didn't really know how to solve them.
Yeah.
And, and I just wanted that to stop.
Mm-hmm.
For me, like you said, Shane, it's different for everybody, and everybody's story is very different. There are some key factors that are common amongst all people, civilian, military, whatever, that lead to suicide attempts and suicide completions. But, for me, it was a combination of what I was going through at the time, alcohol abuse, and
well, it's funny because that's like a common theme to people that want to commit suicide or whatever, is there's got to be some kind of drug or alcohol in the mix. Yeah.
It seems like that's pretty common. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. With about 1/3 of the suicide completions, the person has either drugs or alcohol in their system.
Yeah.
So, it's common, and it's a major contributor. However, it doesn't tell the complete story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
so one thing I did want to cover is, we're not going to get into any gory details, but I did want to, just talk to people, if this is something that's a sensitive subject for you and, you feel might put you back in a place where you're just not ready to deal with the subject matter yet. This might not be the episode for you. And also, none of us here are licensed physicians or psychiatrists, mental health professionals.
Yeah.
So any advice we give is not, is not medical clinical advice. It's just good TTPs and SOPs for, helping each other out and, being bros, basically, helping out our brothers and sisters. So, why I really want to talk about suicide today is because, it's underreported. It's actually the second leading cause of death for people between the ages of 10 to 34.
Wow.
And not a lot of people know that. Until I started looking into this a little deeper, I didn't know that myself.
Yeah.
This podcast is about overcoming struggles, and, people are struggling with thoughts of suicide every day. So any talking that we can do, about the struggle of, suicide and suicidal ideation, hopefully can provide hope to the hopeless, to those people who are kind of just hanging on, and, give them a way out.
Yeah.
Kind of shine a flashlight and point them in the right direction to, hey, this is where you can get help. This is what you can do, because, we can be proactive instead of reactive,
Right.
whether it's helping ourselves or helping others,
So, do you know of any, like, places people can call into, or things that people can do that are thinking about suicide?
So for resources for those that are, kind of stuck in it, if you're having a medical emergency and you're actively thinking about killing yourself, or someone who is, call 911 immediately.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Those services are there for a reason. If you're having those feelings and maybe you don't want to call 911 or it's not an emergent situation, you can always call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline or Lifeline.
Okay.
And that number is 1-800-273-TALK, which is 1-800-273-8255.
Okay.
And if you're a veteran, press 1 for vets, and that'll push you to a different side of that organization that deals specifically with veterans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also reach out at suicidepreventionlifeline.org and get further information. There's a bunch of charities and other organizations that try to assist. One of those, which is, the shirts that I sent you guys that I'm wearing right now,
Yeah.
is the
We are
Till
too.
Valhalla
Yeah.
project. Nice. Yeah. The
Sorry,
Till
say that
Valhalla
again. It's called the what? So everybody can hear.
Till, yeah, it's called the Till Valhalla project.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what they do is they shine a light on the problem of veteran suicide. Basically, the founder, one of his battle buddies, committed suicide after they came home, and it was kind of hushed up and not really talked about. So he wanted to shine a light on that situation, and he started building plaques for people, who had died. Regardless of whether they had died in combat or whether they had come home and died from something else, so that's how that started out. And then they started producing the T-shirts to fund the plaques that they were sending to family and friends.
Yeah.
And 20% of the proceeds from any purchases you do on the website go to veterans charities working to reduce suicide.
And they also have like bracelets. I actually bought one. It says like until every veteran's lives is saved or something like that. But yeah.
Well, and I think the veteran community is a microcosm of the American community, and so if we can, if the veteran community can come together and find a way to reduce or eliminate the problem of veteran suicide, we can do a lot to help out the broader community in their efforts. Because like I said, it's the leading cause of death behind accidental death for people between 10 and 34.
10 and 34, jeez. So
Between
young
30
too to even start.
Yeah, it's
thinking
so
about
crazy to think about someone at the age of 10, like thinking about taking their own life.
Yeah,
It's
for real.
just crazy.
Well, everybody's heard the stories of, kids being relentlessly bullied online. And, like back when I was a kid, the bullying at least stopped when you went home or you were around your friends and family, but nowadays, they carry their bullies around in their pockets,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
and that has a detrimental effect.
And that's a really interesting way to think about it. Like, think about social media. Like, you're carrying around your own bully in your pocket. It's just, that's crazy.
That's why my kids, so I have 6 daughters, and none of my kids have social media. They won't. I have a 17-year-old. She doesn't. And that's one of the major reasons. I mean, not because my kids are thinking about that, but it's because of the comparison, the damage that is done online.
Yeah.
And they feel like they have to compare to everybody, and just it's not right for their mind. Their minds are still molding.
Yeah.
It's hard enough as an adult to not compare myself to other fitness coaches and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So
totally.
Yeah.
That's all part of it. Like, these IG models and influencers and stuff, that are using multiple filters and
it's all fake.
creating this image that's unattainable for the average person to achieve.
Right.
But they're constantly being bombarded with it, and it makes it difficult for them to understand.
For them to distinguish between reality and fiction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, one of the things I really wanted to talk about is, like everybody's story is different, and you know, everybody has a different experience and is dealing with different things in different